Hey guys, first of all apologies for the noise of the washing machine. It's the only free space I've got that I can set up the guitar in a place where I can film. So what we're doing at the minute is we're going to apply some tea to the board. Just a simple, strong, very strong, left to stew overnight tea, using a little bit of strong white paper towel. And we're just going to apply this to the fretboard to increase the tannin level in the wood, and that will give the iron acetate something really to react with, because I don't know just how strong the tannin levels are in the granadillo board that Gibson decided to bestow upon this lovely studio. So yeah, I want it to go as black as I can get it, and this will be the best way to increase the chances of getting what I want. So it's all thanks to the Woodworkers Guild of America, where I saw a video of this process being done on various woods. I think it was ash, oak, probably some pine in there as well. Now pine is obviously a very, very light colour of wood, and it actually went quite dark. Not black, but darker, and I was quite pleased with the results that I saw from that. So I thought, well, if they can do pine, I can do this granadillo. Now, to do this, I've had to prepare the fretboard quite heavily, because Gibson decided, as do many other manufacturers, to lacquer the sides of the fretboard, which isn't a problem in itself. But on this particular guitar, it was like the fretboard was 1mm to 1.5 millimeters narrower than the neck, so they've basically built up the sides with about 1 millimeter of lacquer, which wasn't ideal, but what can you do? So I sort of took a scraping blade to the sides of the neck after masking up. As you can probably see, some steel masking tape. That's a blue painter's tape that I use, nothing fancy, nothing expensive, it's something I already had around. And yeah, scraped away, sanded back with first of all 80 grit, then 120. I don't want to go too smooth because obviously I want the stain to penetrate. Now, I haven't actually taken the strings off, as you can tell. They're basically separated into those bits of tape there. Now, the iron acetate, I'm going to put some pictures on the sort of video, but basically it's this. It's lovely and black, and to make it, I've got some plain steel wool, 4/0 steel wool, and soaked it inside of vinegar. Well, for about a week. The pictures will show a couple of days as the solution was being made, and then I'll show you that as before. So basically it's nice and black, and the vinegar dissolves the iron acetate, dissolves the steel wool and creates this lovely dark stain. Now, this is where I need to be careful, because the wife will kill me because it's her blanket. Essentially, I'm just going to get some of the iron acetate into another pad and just apply, and hopefully, I say hopefully, it will start to react with the wood and go black, or darker at the very least. Now, in some woods it goes dark very, very quickly, but this is not really going black. I'm going to zoom in there. You can see I've done the first 3 or 4 frets worth at the bottom end. It's not really doing anything. Which is a shame. Anyway, let's keep that zoom there. So I'm just hunting for a little applicator, something a little bit more robust. I'm just getting a sponge, simple dish sponge. Hopefully it will allow a little more solution to come into contact with the wood and to allow the reaction to take place. So you can see the wood is wetted. I'll do the side of the neck as well. Hopefully we'll see some darkening. Now, as long as it darkens to some degree, I'll be quite happy, because it was quite orange, as you could see up front. I mean, I can see there that it's definitely darkening, but the question is, how much will it darken? Answers on a postcard. So, I mean, on their videos the oak went black almost instantly. On here, well, it's not really darkening, which is a shame. I'm quite disappointed in that. But what can you do? It's definitely darkening. Now, I can't tell if that's due to the colour of the wood changing due to the reaction, or if it's just the fact that the wood is wet. Can't tell you, but it's definitely a touch darker. Let's see if we can adjust the view of the camera. You can see on the inlays there, the stain itself. I'm just going to wipe the inlays just ever so lightly, just to get the stain off. Now, they appear. Well, it's definitely a shade darker. I think what I'll do, I'll leave it to absorb as best I can. I mean, I don't think it's going to change that much more, if I'm brutally honest at this point. I mean, if you look in the grain of the wood, where you can see the pores, particularly sort of further down here, no, actually, up here. So up here at the top of this inlay, you can see where it's starting to take in there a bit more. The sides of the fretboard, again, much the same as they were before. No real change at all. Let's add a little more tannin, shall we, just to see if that sparks things off a little bit. We'll find out. So again, it's just a simple case of add some more tea to the blend. Because it likes tannin, you see, apparently, this reaction. Not a lot happening though. So you can see the colour on the sponge is changing to where the liquids have mixed. They're kind of going dark. But the wood itself, not so much. Let's zoom out a bit. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a touch darker. There's a couple of shades, but I think that's probably due to the wetness on the board, if I'm honest. So I think my next step to darkening this board is to get me some stain from, I'm going to order it from Crimson Guitars, so there's a couple of bits I want to get from there, and they do a nice black stain, which in the nature of the fact that I believe it's an aniline dye, I will check with them before I order it just to be sort of sure, but that will stain it black because it is a stain as opposed to a chemical reaction that I'm relying on here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop the video now, I'm going to leave it an hour or two and come back with some photographs and maybe a follow-up video. Thanks guys, see you in a bit. Hey all, welcome to the update on my ebonisation video. Now what we've got here is a simple, this is how it should work, kind of update to the Les Paul. What we've got here is we've got my sample piece of wood. It's actually a mitre block made of beech, nice hardwood. We've got the iron acetate. In here we have the super strong tea and the sponge that I use to apply the lot. Now, as we saw on the Les Paul, it didn't really darken much, so we didn't see the true effect and what we were trying to achieve. But what we've got here is a very pale beech, and with a coat of the tea and then a coat of the iron acetate, you get that. Now, it's not black, but it is significantly darker than the start, as you can see. Massive contrast, and the kind of variation I was hoping for on the granadillo. Anyway, we didn't get it, but that's a fact of life. Not all wood is different, and it's going to behave differently. Obviously we're going to get more dramatic effect on the light beech as we would on the darker granadillo. Done a bit of reading, and a few people have suggested that it might be the oils in the wood sort of preventing the iron acetate reacting, and I tend to agree with that based on my findings here. So as you can see, sort of this here is massively different to here, but the end grain, as I'll show you in just a second, is different again, and it's a lot darker still, almost black, almost black. So if we get that round there, you can see it's a lot darker on the end grain, where it's obviously a lot more porous, and the top, which has been sort of sanded quite smooth. I haven't actually bothered doing anything more to it because it's just a test piece and I wanted to see how it would work. So I know one or two people asked how deep the stain is going to penetrate, and let's have a measure here so you can see clearly on the end. We've got a board that is 17mm thick, and it's penetrated at least a millimetre, even at the narrowest point of sort of penetration. So here we're approaching 2mm at this end, so it penetrates quite deep into the wood. So yeah, there we go. That is how the ebonisation should occur. Obviously, like I say, not black, but it's massively different to the start. So gents, for the Les Paul, obviously we didn't see this. I'm going to approach it with a India ink, I believe. I'm going to go for this little pot just here, regular run-of-the-mill India ink in black, and yeah, £3.60 from the now defunct Ebonise bookshop and art supplies in Stoke-on-Trent. So yeah, chaps, thanks for watching. The next stage will be the Les Paul, hopefully with a black board. Catch you later, bye.